Hello, everyone. Hi, how is everybody doing? Welcome to our live session again. Two in 1 week. Very excited to be here. I'm sure it will be a nice session today. Today, like we are starting off with our new year. So I wanted to kind of share some new things, like what you should be looking out into 2026 to improve your health. Like what are the new upcoming modalities of treatments for thyroid, for inflammation, for healing your body, or all of those things. I just wanted to kind of share what is coming out, and I'm really excited about things which are coming out in 2026. So that's what I'm going to talk about a little today, like in our live session. Obviously, we are going to take lots and lots of question answers. Some people have already posted their questions into the comment section, so we are going to take care of those questions also, and then obviously try to answer other questions as best as I can. But welcome over here. Please, again, I like to know each and every one of you who have joined us over here. Please share in the chat section where you are from and what are your problems you're dealing with, or any health goal that you are looking forward to in 2026 that you want to achieve. It will be good to know. So please share that into the chat section. That's the way that we communicate. That's the way I kind of get to know you. And then, as I said, I'm going to share some updates about what's going on with me, with the world of functional medicine and integrative medicine, and then I definitely take up some questions. So wonderful, welcome over here. I will start myself. I'm Dr. Anshul Gupta, and my goal for 2026 actually is further optimizing my health. Okay, so what I'm looking for is more about reverse aging. There's something called biological aging, and then there is something called your chronological aging and things. Okay, so I want to. So I am. I don't know how much you know about me, but I'm currently 44. So, but I want to my cellular age. I want it to be around 30-year-old person. So that's my goal to doing it. I'm already working on multiple things for doing that, and if I'm able to achieve it, definitely I will share my results and protocols with you in the end. But that's my goal. So now let's share your goals or problems that you're dealing with, so that we all get to know each other. All right, Ankita is joining us from India. Somebody has epilepsy they need help with. And then Priyanka is joining us from India, Delhi. Welcome over here. And somebody has a goal from reversing their thyroid. Absolutely. That's what we all want to do. Paulette is joining us from Canada. Welcome over here. And, you know, somebody has this goal of Hashimoto's disease and improving their thyroid health and reducing inflammation. So, absolutely up for it. We will work on it. Somebody has hyperthyroidism. So, yes, that's kind of the opposite of hypothyroidism. And interestingly, like more and more people are coming up with hyperthyroidism because we are getting so many requests to work with people who have hyperthyroidism. While previously, I will say like 7 or 8 years ago, I barely saw people with hyperthyroidism. So that's very interesting that it is also on a rise. So that's good to know. So wonderful. So good. So now let me give you. Obviously, more people are joining us, but I want to kind of give you an update of what's going on in the world of thyroid disease, Hashimoto's disease, inflammation, and functional medicine. So we are always looking for newer modalities, right? The whole kind of science of longevity, anti-aging medicine is dramatically improving, and then we are knowing much about how we can reverse it. So I'm very excited for new things coming in that direction. But in terms of thyroid health and inflammation health, a couple of things which have come into my radar is red light therapies. So red light therapy is an upcoming thing. It has been there for a long time, but now actually before it was not proven that it would work, but now we have good amount of research that red light therapy is great, especially people who are going through a lot of inflammation in their body as autoimmune conditions. Red light therapy basically like is using a low level of in near infrared light. Okay, and that kind of gives you at a specific area of your body. You can do a whole body one, or you can do only to your thyroid and things. And what it does is that it actually reduces reactive oxygen species. So what is reactive oxygen species? These are the waste products which are being formed in your body. And it has been shown that people who have autoimmune condition, or people are aging at a very fast rate, or people who have Hashimoto's disease, they have high amount of reactive oxygen species. So these red light therapies reduces these reactive oxygen species, so supports your thyroid functioning, reduces inflammation. So one of the way it works on that. In fact, it was also shown that the red light therapy can directly work on your genes also, and it was able to turn off certain genes, what we call as pro-inflammatory genes. That means these genes increases inflammation in our system, and red light therapy was able to shut them off. So that way it reduces inflammation, improving the thyroid health. It also improved the blood circulation, around the area where the red light therapy was given. So by improving the blood circulation, obviously more nutrients are goes to your thyroid or to your body, improves it. And it also improves your mitochondrial health. So mitochondria, again, as you guys know, is center of all the diseases. Because of mitochondria, we feel tired, we feel fatigued, we have autoimmune conditions, we are aging. So definitely, red light therapies, there are better and better instruments which are coming up, okay, which has very precise red light therapy wavelengths, because it is about the wavelength that matters how good a red light therapy instrument is. So now, the better instruments are coming up. So I'm definitely very interested in using red light therapy in my patients. The next thing which I'm interested about is PEMF, okay, which is the pulse electromagnetic field therapy. So basically, like red light therapy is a spectrum of light, while PEMF is electromagnetic fields, and it is applied in pulses in your body. Okay, so again, obviously, you have to do it through an instrument. But PMF therapy is very interesting because it sends a signal to your cells, specifically cells which are dying, cells which are overburdened or not functioning. It sends the signals to the cells to start making them alive again, so they can repair itself. Because what is happening in cancer, okay, what is happening in aging is that there are cells, but they are not listening to our body. Their body is sending signals to them to stop multiplying, not doing things, and but they are not listening. And PMF therapy helps the body, the cells, to start listening to the body's signals. So that way it reduces inflammation, it regulates the repair mechanism of the cells. So cells which are damaged, it repairs them also. So it is very kind of useful for actually improving, if there are damaged cells which is happening in thyroid. So people who have Hashimoto's disease, they have damaging their thyroid. People who have thyroid nodules, again, they are, like they are damaged thyroid cells. And if you have other autoimmune conditions, then again your cells are damaged. So PMF therapies can be utilized for that. So definitely looking forward to this PMF therapies, which will be, I think, very, very useful in the future. Again, great instruments are coming up which are very specific in delivering the PMF wavelengths to your body, so your body can rejuvenate. So that is again a look forward to PMF therapy devices, guys. I think that will be a next thing that people will like it. Gut microbiome, okay, you all know that how gut is important for our body. But we have more and more research studies actually which are coming up with new bacteria that we are identifying and their role in the body. So again, last year we came to know about Akkermansia. This Akkermansia bacteria has been, kind of limelight, in the last couple of years, because it has been shown that this is a weight loss bacteria. And most people who are struggling to lose weight, this bacteria is low in them. And by boosting the growth of this Akkermansia, people were able to lose weight. Who knew that, just one bacteria could be kind of, a trick in weight loss? We've identified another bacteria which is actually not very well known. It's called F Pro. There is a video coming out on this. Actually, I did a research study on it, and the video is coming out this Sunday, where this bacteria was a switch to inflammation. So research studies are very clear that this bacteria can turn on your inflammation or turn off your inflammation. So low levels of this bacteria was able to was responsible for turning on inflammation and how to naturally increase it. So that that video is coming out, so that will be very very useful also. And I'm excited to know more about gut microbiome, because we have not even mapped out the complete gut microbiome. So there is trillions of bacteria, and we only know a handful of bacteria that makes a difference. So I think, like, this research is going to continue, and then more and more information is going to come out about specific bacteria, their specific role in the body, and how to specifically improve that bacteria. So I'm thinking very very excited about this development about gut microbiome. And the next thing which I'm excited about is peptides and bioregulators. So peptides has been, in the field for a very very long time. We all know about peptides, but more and more peptides are coming out, which have very specific roles in healing the body. So we have a thyroid peptide now, which heals the body, heals the thyroid, reduces antibodies, rejuvenates the thyroid gland so it is able to function again. That's the first time that one therapy is able to do that. Most of the time, once the thyroid gland was dead or not able to produce, we were not able to rejuvenate it. This particular thyroid peptide can do that. There are other peptides which can reduce inflammation in thyroid and bodies. Okay, as well as there are specific bioregulators, which are smaller forms of peptides now, that has more specific actions, in terms of the body. So peptides are basically, like natural compounds which our body makes, and now we have researched them so much that we can like make those external peptides and use them kind of as natural supplements. So basically that peptides are, so they're completely natural, and then they have a huge role to play in our body's healing process. There are several anti-aging peptides. There is bpc 157, there is thymosin alpha 1, there is thyropep, then there is LL37 peptides, which is antimicrobial. So there are several peptides, which we have at least a range of 50 plus peptides, which will be useful. So these peptides will become more mainstream, I think, in 2026, and will be more easily available. Right now, only certain people have access to them. We are obviously utilizing peptides, for our US patients. We have access to them over here, and some of them across the other parts of the world also we have access to them. So we do include peptides in our treatment protocols. So, and we see again great results with it. So I think you guys should look into the peptides also a lot, in terms of healing your body and thyroid. So those are the updates which I'm looking forward to. Then there is stem cells. Mesenchymal stem cells are also showing some promising results in healing autoimmune conditions. So that's what we are also looking into that. Although stem cells are still expensive treatments, I will say. So like it's limited for only certain people of certain number of people who can afford them. But I think as time goes on, they will be easily available and more affordable. But yes, the research is expanding on stem cells. So that's the update from my side, guys. Another update, as you guys know, is the Thyroid Summit, which is coming up next week. If you have not yet registered for it, you should, because we are going to talk about all of these new age, new upcoming therapies for inflammation, autoimmunity, thyroid, Hashimoto's, losing weight, gut disorders, how to improve your gut microbiome, how to optimize your mitochondria, get rid of fatigue, get rid of tiredness, improving your brain functioning, rebalancing your hormones, and all of these in natural ways. So link is in the description. Please register for it. You are going to love it. 30 speakers I have interviewed, and all of them have different specialities. All of them are talking about different topics related to this thing. Very rarely you will see this kind of summit which is online and completely free. So you should definitely register for it. So link will be in the description for you to click and then go ahead and register today itself, so that way you reserve your spot. But to kind of share, what kind of speakers, we I shared some of those last time with you. So this is what the Thyroid Summit banner will look like for you when you register for them. So Daryl Turner, is another person which I interviewed, or I'm interviewing. He has treated his protocols have treated almost 1 million thyroid patients. So he has kind of created this specific machine that checks your thyroid as well as specific protocol, and he claims that across the whole world he has reached 1 million people of treating thyroid, all natural ways. Very interesting way that he approaches things. So that will be definitely, if you do have thyroid, you should listen to his talk. Eric Osansky, kind of, he had himself had Graves' disease. So Eric is a very good friend of mine, and so he himself had Graves' disease. So he talks very extensively about Graves' disease, hyperthyroidism, and then also he wrote books on Hashimoto's too. So we are discussing how to improving Graves' disease, Hashimoto's, all in natural ways. So again, very interesting thing that he is sharing with us. Kerry Rutley is actually going to talk about keto. So again, like keto has been, a fad diet with a lot of people, and I wanted to kind of, bring in a person who can talk about keto. Like, is it good for autoimmune diseases? Good for inflammation? Good for thyroid disorders? And then what is the right way of doing keto? And then what mistakes people make. So she talks about that. Again, she has a thriving practice, helps a lot of people in improving their health conditions. So you want to listen to her talk also. Then comes Evan Hirsch. He talks about fatigue, specifically if you have been going through long COVID or if you have had energy issues. Then he talks about how you can improve, like through his natural process of improving fatigue. Kent Holdorf, he's the one who's going to talk about peptides and bioregulators. Okay, so this is one very excited about kind of his talk. He is a depth of information, so I will definitely listen to his topics. You should definitely do that. Felish Gers, she is kind of what I call as a hormone queen because she deals with all female hormones, how to rebalance them naturally. So if you're a female, in your perimenopause or menopause era, then this talk will be very, very useful for you. Um Miles Nichols, like he talks about hidden infections, like parasites in your gut, like, Lyme disease, like Bartonella babesia, all those advanced infections, Epstein Barr, which can cause damage to your thyroid. He talks about all of those things. So again, a few new speakers that, I wanted to kind of share with you that will be part of this summit. So again, if you have not yet registered, please register for the summit. You should definitely do that so you can get the benefit of all of these information, which is completely new. Like, this is like, most people have not shared this ever in a big platform. And the goal for me always is to give you actionable steps. So with majority of my interviews, I'll be talking about asking them, okay, well, so people have this, you give us actionable step, three things they can do, two things they can do today. So that way you are leaving out with specific situations. So that's what, like I wanted to share with you in terms of the updates about 2026 coming up, things that you should look forward to. And then as well as, looking into the thyroid summit. So again, if you have not yet registered, good, go for it. And now it's time for questions. So we will take certain questions over here. So please start posting questions into the chat section so I can answer those for you. So, let me start with this one question that was emailed to me to kind of because she was not able to post the question last time, and then she emailed me this question. So Priyanka actually asked this question about beetroots. Okay, so her question was that beetroots are ground vegetable. So and people have told that okay, they might have dangerous bacteria, fungi or parasites, and they can actually cause gut disruption. And plus, like they can have heavy metals as well as they are also high in oxalates. Okay, so all of these things are going around. So like people say that beetroots are actually not good for the health. So what is your take on it? So this is where functional medicine and certain providers, like which are there online, they keep on taking each and every food and just bringing out the negative sides of this. Okay, people say don't eat lectins, don't eat oxalate food, like don't eat any plant-based foods now. With the carnivore diet, you just eat like meats and nothing else, right? don't eat any carbohydrates, don't eat any fats, so when people go into those extremes, then what we are left with is very minimal amount of food. And what research shows, the most researched diet on this planet is what we call as a Mediterranean diet. And what they realize in Mediterranean diet is that they have ample amount of different colorful non-starchy vegetables. That's the base of their diet. Okay. And the more color you have of vegetables, the more phytonutrients you get, the more antioxidants that you get. Now, if you will imagine, okay, how many purple colored vegetables we have in our diet, okay, or let's say foods in our diet, okay, you'll be able to count only handful of those. Beetroots being one, blueberries being the other one, okay, maybe a handful of others I cannot even think of right now. So that's the reason I feel beetroots are a powerhouse of nutrition. Every food has downsides to it. Okay, so if you're reacting to beetroots, don't eat them. But beetroots increase your nitric oxide, so improves blood circulation. Beetroots have these phytosanthins compounds which reduces inflammation because they are powerful antioxidants. Beetroots plus they have good amount of prebiotic fiber, so again they help your gut health. So similarly, beetroots are great. Like in terms of bacteria and fungi and parasites, make sure you are, washing them and then peel off their first layer. Okay, so for that you can do. If you're still further concerned, you can always cook your beetroots. Once you do that, majority of the bacteria and things die off. Being high in oxalates, we don't have literally good research studies supporting that high oxalate foods are bad for each and every person. The studies are limited and only for a certain amount of people. When they eat, like if you're eating beetroots for your breakfast, for your lunch, for your dinners, yes, obviously they're going to hurt, but one serving of beetroot specifically in winters will be great. So my recommendation is, I eat beetroots in winters. I recommend beetroots unless there is a reason that is you are reacting to it. You should eat beetroots. They're awesome for everyday health, for inflammation things. So I will recommend, for my sake, I will say beetroots are really good. Okay. Let's take some more questions over here. Let's see what people have kind of posted first up over here. Okay, let's see. I'm just looking. People have posted their problems. I'm just looking at solutions. People are looking for remedy for fatigue. Okay, tiredness. They have thyroid issues, high blood pressure, low vitamin D and B12, and they are fatigued. So fatigue, yes, a very major problem. People do feel tired and fatigued all the time. Again, you have to take your health into very consideration. Vitamin D deficiency can cause it. Vitamin B12 deficiency can cause it. So make sure you do take those on the regular basis. And plus, working on your mitochondrial health with all of these antioxidant foods will be very, very important. Good fats are also very important. So again, if you can eat fish, that is great. If you cannot eat them, make sure you're eating nuts and seeds like almonds, walnuts. Those will be good to improving the fatigue. So fatigue is a systemic problem, guys. So you have to work on all of the different aspects. Improve your diet, eat nutritious food. This is what I hear each and every day in my practice. I talk to people, we need to improve your diet. Well, I don't eat out. I just eat home cooked food. Well, home cooked, what has home cooked food to the nutrition piece of it? If at home cooked food you are eating carbohydrates, that's the only thing you eat, like tons of gluten, tons of rice, tons of grains, and you're eating this teeny tiny amount of vegetables. You're not eating any protein, with your diet, or only with one meal a day. Well, even if that is home cooked meal is not nutritious for your body. So understand what a nutritious meal looks like. Very important to kind of know about the diet, some basics about it. Okay, so work on that. Your fatigue should get better. Okay, so let's take some other questions over here. How can you contact us for treatments? Like that is very easy. Basically, kind of send us an email. You go on our website and send us an email over there. So you can do that over there. Okay. So you can do that. So do over here. So you can all benefit from it. Okay. Let me put the, I think, the link for the thyroid summit again, because I think that's not showing up. So I put in the link. So in case some people are wondering of how to register for it, this is the link in the chat section. So do that. Okay. Okay, so let's ask some other questions. Like create a diet plan for autoimmune disease of hypothyroid and vitiligo. So all the autoimmune diseases have very same similar diet plans. Okay, because we want to include foods which are anti-inflammatory, and then give up foods which causes inflammation to the body. Okay, so that's the goal of the anti-inflammatory diet. And again, if you will look at my channel, I've made several videos about anti-inflammatory diets, diet for Hashimoto's disease, and things. So you can easily look into that. So that will be very, very useful for that purposes. Next question somebody has is that is D2 or D3 better, or is it wise to go low carb to lose weight? Okay, so D2 or D3? D3. There is no question about that. Because if you're taking D2, then your body needs to convert it to D3 for utilizing it, because your body cannot utilize D2. D2 is what we call as an inactive vitamin D hormone, and it needs to be converted to D3 for us to utilize it. So why to use D2? Okay. So D3 is the only active form of vitamin D that you should be taking it. So make sure that's what you're doing it. There is no reason to take vitamin D2 at all. Now, more importantly is to take your vitamin D3 with vitamin K. Okay. So that's again very important thing that you should be doing. Okay. Because again, vitamin D, the role is it deposits calcium to the bones. But if you take vitamin D alone, when you are above 30 years of age, some of that calcium starts getting deposited in your arteries. So to prevent that, when you take vitamin D with K2, K2 makes sure that all of that calcium is being deposited in your bones only and not in your arteries. Okay. So that's the reason I always recommend, if you are a young person, you can take vitamin D plain, but if you are older than 30 years of age, then you should take vitamin D with K2. Okay, very important over there. Low carbohydrate diet good for weight loss. Yes, like, but the way low carbohydrate diet means you reduce your carbohydrates, but make sure you are doing it in a healthy way. What that means, eating a lot of non-starchy vegetables, including good quality protein and good quality fats. So those should be also included in your diet, so that way you do not lose muscle, so that you do not get low in a lot of nutrients. Because I see it each and every day. Like, people are coming to work with me. Oh, I did this crash diet with only 900 calories a day. I lost, like, 10 kilos in just a couple of weeks, and I felt awful. Obviously you're going to feel awful, because like 10 kilos in such a small amount of time, your body lost a lot of nutrients, because that person was not eating food at all. They were trying to starve their body, and the goal is not to starve your body. The goal is to ignite the metabolism of your body. So that's the goal over here. So low carb diets work great. Definitely we all should be reducing carbohydrates, because we are eating too many carbs. But then also, more importantly, is a nutritious diet where you eat good quality protein, good quality fats, and other things. Okay. Um, Somebody has questioned, my TSH is normal, my TPO is elevated, thyroglobulin is elevated, and eosinophils are also high. What does it indicate? So basically, it indicates autoimmunity. So you have Hashimoto's disease, okay? Because if there are two antibodies being high from the reference range, that means a person has Hashimoto's disease, and you need to work on reversing the autoimmune process. This is where anti-inflammatory autoimmune diet that I talk about in my videos will be useful. Certain supplements will be very much useful, like zinc, like selenium. All of those are great in reducing thyroid antibodies. Vitamin D is great for reducing thyroid antibodies. So all those are important. And again, as you guys know, that we I have created this specific thyroid balance supplement, which has all of these nutrients attached to it. So again, you can always buy that supplement, all over the world. So that is a way to reduce the thyroid antibodies. So that's one thing. Let's see. Okay, somebody said that they landed up in the hospital. Now I'm learning all over again what I did introduce and acted on: fasting, not eating, and clean exercising. Yes, It is difficult, yes. A lot of people do certain things and that can backfire. So it is very important to know what is the safest way of doing things. So very, very important. I always tell people, yes, there might be an amazing thing you might hear online, but that night might not be the best thing for you. So make sure you are looking at things in a more holistic way, doing things slowly, and then your body is going to get better. Okay. How do I reverse hyperthyroidism? So again, we have to first figure out why you have hyperthyroidism. Okay, so there are various reasons. One is Graves' disease, which is autoimmune, but it can be also because of thyroid nodules, which are producing too much thyroid hormone. So first, you need to determine the cause and then work on it. Again, if you do have Graves' disease, this is where the autoimmune protocol works. This is where listen to the thyroid summit. Like that particular, lecture is all about hyperthyroidism. So Dr. Eric Osansky, is going to talk about hyperthyroidism. So you should definitely register and listen to that lecture so you know how to exactly reverse it for you. Um, Heather has this question: how can I increase protein? I don't like meat. I have Hashimoto's chronic fatigue because of chronic Epstein Barr. So increasing protein, if you, especially if you're vegan or vegetarian, is a work. Okay, because very, very difficult to do it. So you have to be very, very regimented. So in that process, if you don't want to eat meat, then you can eat eggs. So again, good quality only, organic, cage-free eggs is what you're looking at. That can increase your protein. The other way is nuts and seeds, specifically a big fan of chia seeds, pumpkin seeds, hemp seeds, and then almonds and walnuts. Those are very, very high sources of protein. Like 1 or 2 tablespoons of these seeds can give to up to 4 to 5 grams of protein. So, if you're mixing these seeds and taking different times of the day, you can easily get 20 to 25 grams through them only. And then protein powders, vegan protein powders are again another way of doing it. And then if you there is another supplement which is spirulina and chlorella. So these are algae, but they have very, very high amount of proteins, by body weight. So you can look for a supplement for spirulina that can again, they have multiple benefits. And then obviously one of the benefits is giving you protein. That can also increase the protein from more vegan and vegetarian sources. Alrighty, we are talking about peptides over here. Motus C or SS31 peptide, which one should be first? None. Okay. So, because Motus C is a mitochondrial peptide and things. Okay. So, before you start working on a mitochondria, you first need to work on generalized body's health. So, I tend to start more with BPC 157 first. That's a gentle peptide that prepares your body in doing more towards protocols which are needed to specifically target specific areas in the body. So, BPC 157 reduces inflammation, improves your gut health, and then prepares your body for advanced peptides. That's the first thing. Then you can introduce Mortis C. Okay. Mortis C is a little bit expensive, but it is very specific to mitochondria and has shown in improving the mitochondrial health. And then again, very less side effects of it. Like, it is very well tolerated. So that would be my second thing of introducing Mortis C, of doing it. But again, it depends on what conditions you're dealing with and what problems you're using them for. That will be more useful to make a proper peptide protocol based on that. Um, what kind of diet will be required for seborrheic dermatitis? So, seborrheic dermatitis reflects hormonal imbalances. Okay. When there are hormonal imbalances and poor gut health, that's where it shows up on the skin as a seborrheic dermatitis. So, too much inflammation is present in the body because of imbalancing in the hormones. So, first of all, give up gluten, dairy, and sugar. These three foods are the worst for seborrheic dermatitis. So, that will be the topmost priority that you should start doing it. Give up gluten, dairy, and sugar, and start introducing more anti inflammatory foods, which again, as I shared, colorful, non starchy vegetables, good quality proteins is very important. Anti inflammatory herbs like, turmeric, ginger will be great to introduce for you. And then good omegas will also be good for you. So you can, start doing that for that purposes. How can you contact us? So again, go to our website. Let me put actually our email address over here also, so that way you can easily contact us over here if you have any questions to ask us. Okay, or if you want to work with us, again, this will be a good way to again email us so that we can see if we can help you out or not. Okay. Some people have this question. I'm not able to buy the supplements. Well, typically there should not be any problem. So, but if you're having any problems, again, I shared the email. Shoot us an email what particular issue you're dealing with in buying the supplements, so we can certainly see how we can help you. Apologize for all the issues you're dealing with, but typically, you like our websites and things are working out, so we can help you in your particular case. Okay, so let's see. Can hyperthyroid affect eyes? Yeah, absolutely. Again, that's where, I shared in my last talk also that I have interviewed a very specific person. She's the only MD, ophthalmologist in this kind of big world, who is treating thyroid eye disease in a more holistic fashion. Dr. Bin, I have interviewed her in this thyroid summit. So you should, if you're looking for improving your eye health, she not only talks about hyperthyroid, but in general improving your eye health. So again, register for the thyroid summit, and you will see that there is a lecture on there where I'm interviewing her, specifically talking about thyroid eye disease, how to prevent it, how to treat it. So that'll be very, very useful for you also. So that's what I can say. So we talked about this. And let's see. Does positive TPO means there is sure autoimmune condition? How to know if it is hypo or hyper? So there are two different components, right? There is autoimmune disease and there is hypo or hyper. So if you do have TPO antibodies which are elevated, yes, you do have autoimmune condition. No questions asked. That is the case. Now, whether you have hypo or hyper, that depends on your thyroid hormone levels. So where is your TSH? Where is your T3? Where is your T4? So you get those checked, and that will tell you. If let's say if the T3, T4 are low and TSH is high, then you have hypo. Let's say if they are normal, then you might have early stages of Hashimoto's disease. And let's say, obviously, if your T3, T4 is high, your TSH is very low, that means you have hyper. Okay. So that's the way you know about it. But again, best is to work with a doctor who knows all these things for you. So I just, I don't want to give any medical advice over here and think that, okay, well, I'm diagnosing any diseases. So I'm not doing any of that stuff over here. It is just a generalized information I'm giving over here with the basic knowledge that you are providing to me. Okay. So work with a local provider or a doctor so that you can get a complete diagnosis and best thing also. Okay. Does is intermittent fasting bad for thyroid? Well, it depends. So it is good if you do it in a particular way. A lot of people intermittent fasting, they are going up to 18 to 20 hours. And that is not good for thyroid patients, because what is thyroid? Thyroid is your metabolic hormone. And when you do longer fast, that sends signal to your body that your body is starving to death. So decrease your metabolism. And to decrease the metabolism, what your body sends signal to, say thyroid, stop producing thyroid hormone. Okay. And then suddenly when you start eating, then your body has to recalibrate to start producing thyroid hormone. So if you keep doing those things on the regular basis, that thyroid hormone has to do up and down, up and down, up and down. And over the course of time, we see that those people, their thyroid wears off. So if you're doing intermittent fasting of around 14 hours or so, then typically it is well tolerated with my patients of thyroid disease. So that's what I will recommend, to do that. Not doing longer fasts, because typically that doesn't work very well in the long run for thyroid patients. You might feel great or awesome in the short term, but long term they don't. So I will I will say that if you do have thyroid disorders, then maybe doing shorter fast is a better option. Okay, so that's great. We are coming to the end of a session, but I will take a few more things and see. Lupus, you didn't talk about lupus. Well, lupus is again an autoimmune condition, right? So again, very similar concepts. That first start with your autoimmune diet, right? You know that autoimmune diseases. It starts in the gut. Start working on your gut. Basic supplementations like curcumin, like omega 3s, vitamin Ds. Those are again great. We again have anti-inflammatory supplements that you can look up, on our website, and you can get all of those things. So you can, do that also. So that's the basis of lupus also, that you can easily do that. So that's about lupus and things. Okay. So awesome. So good. So again, I will highly, highly recommend to you guys to register for the thyroid summit, because all of these questions that you asked over here, there might be more, and you will get a lot of answers. Not only just with me, but other providers giving you that. So you will get more perspective, and that's more important, right? Getting all the perspective of different specialists which are there in this whole world, so you know exactly what to do, how to improve on things. So again, yes, to follow that, register for the summit, use that link, share it with other people who might benefit from it. So that will also be useful that way. So we are coming to the end of the session today. Thank you so much for joining us. We will be back again next week. Again, if you have any specific questions, comments, please share those over here, as well as when we put out the request for the live session. Share your questions over there also. I will try to answer as many as possible. Any future topics that you want me to cover, do things, we'll try a level best. And again, keep supporting the work that I'm doing so that I can reach more people. That's the goal. Because if you have benefit from any information that you got over here or on our channel, then if it was useful for you, there are a lot more people it can be helpful for. So keep supporting us. If you're not doing anything correctly, please again, be honest about it, tell us so we can get better. So that's the goal. So making 2026 again a healthier future for all of us together is a goal. So let's do it. Okay. So again, thank you so much for joining me for another session of question and answer. And we will see you again next week. So keep looking in the community section of when that session is happening next week, so you can come back and again learn more about natural ways of improving things. All right. Take care. Have a nice weekend. Enjoy your time. Okay. Bye bye.